Nilisema mwaka wa 98 kwamba nitajiuzulu ama nitastaafu kipindi hiki cha miaka 5 ikisha. Wengine hawakuamini kwa sababu wanaamini power katika kontinenti la Afrika, kwamba kuna mtu anaweza kuwacha power ya urais. Power iko kwa wananchi, na sisi tu ni wadhamini yao.
A very good morning to our viewers. Welcome to Afriq 24 Hours TV, and this is our morning show. This is the morning newspaper review. Karibu sana, and as you're joining us, ensure that you invite others so that we can be able to follow together. I know people are still in the holiday mood, people are still in the celebration mood after celebrating the 60th Jamhuri Day. So what do we have today? What are our newspaper headlines today? I know most of the newspapers have really covered what happened yesterday and the promises that were given yesterday at Uhuru Gardens and their hope that Kenya is waiting for after celebrating Jamhuri Day for 60th time. Welcome and keep it here at Afriq 24-Hour TV. Ensure as you're joining, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to our channels and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we are live, we'll always alert you. You'll always be alerted and you'll always know that we are live. This is Afriq newspaper review. Karibu sana. Alright, once again welcome. Hakikisha kuwa pale kwa comment section pia unaniambia unanitazama ukiwa wapi, as we want to start this journey of reviewing the newspapers. Actually, I have the Standard, I have the Daily Nation, I have my Nigerian, I have the Eastern Africa. There are lots of newspapers, so we're going to review and see what they managed to capture in a colorful Jamhuri Day celebration that was staged yesterday at Uhuru Gardens. Yes, I know you have different views of how the Jamhuri Day was celebrated. There are some who believe that the attendance was low. There are some who believe that Kenyans are tired. And there are some who also believe that it was really successful. But what I can tell you that it is 60 years of promises. The Jamhuri Day was full of promises from the president, promises of a better life, promises of a future country. So these are promises that we've always been given for the last 60 years. Karibu sana, namuona Gudia, good morning. And it's really a good morning here in Kenya. And ni kazi kama kawaida, watu walipewa holiday, unajua mtu amepumzika Saturday, Sunday, then Monday you went to work, then Tuesday you had to take a break for the holiday. So for those people who maybe went overboard and maybe did some other things, leo najua ni hangover inamaliza watu. So karibuni sana na tuweze kujiunga pamoja ili tuweze kusonga pamoja. So quickly, let me just show you what is on my first page here. I'll start with the Standard newspaper. So if you look at the Standard newspaper on the first page there, I'm having Ruto opens Kenyans doors in visa gamble. So wadau, nyinyi ndio mtaweza kuniambia hii maneno ya visa. As you can see, Ruto said that the president said that from next year, January, Kenya will be a visa free. What does this one mean? This one simply means that you don't need those documentations, you don't need to fill those forms that people normally fill for them to be able to enter into Kenya. So you'll only need a valid passport and you're free. And in most cases, you'll find that when you are paying for the visa, there's normally an amount that you have to pay so that you can be able to visit a specific country. So this one means from January, if you want to come to Kenya, you'll not have to pay those visa fee. You'll not need all those online and maybe the forms that people do fill. You just have to move in and out. It happens in some countries, and you know, when it is visa free, you'll find that people will always have to be limited to some specific, how do you call it, time. You'll find that they will always give you a specific time, like maybe a few months that you have to take. You can't like overstay. So this is what the standard is telling us. You'll find the president seeks to assured Kenyan suffering, says painful experience of higher taxes is now paying off by pulling the country out of debt. This trust announces Kenya will be visa-free starting from next month. So this is what the president had to say. Karibu sana, namwona Larry More anasema mimi nimeshiba kulindwa na kupangwa na wakora. Hii nchi ni mambo ya kupangwa. Hii ndio kwa maana tunachagua viongozi. Kazi ya viongozi tukishawachagua pale ni hao watupange. Sasa swali inafaa tujiulize wanatupanga vipi. So if you look at the first page, it's telling you the promises, like there's numbers there, 6.8%, which is the current inflation rate, down from a high of 9.2% last year. In the last 6 months, the GDP has grown at 5.4%, making Kenya 29th fastest growing economy globally. And these are the words of the president. So I don't know what the experts are saying, and maybe some of the economists, they will also be able to give us their view. They'll be able to confirm if indeed this is true or it is wrong. But according to the president yesterday, he said that Kenya is currently the 29th fastest growing economy globally in the world. In the entire world, we are number 29 as far as growth is concerned. And he told us, he projected that our GDP in the last 6 months, as the inflation rate has fallen down to, how do you call it? From 9.2%, and we are currently at 6.8%. There is a certain number there that is 42 billion. 42 billion, they're saying, is the amount of money that was lent to 21 million Hustler Fund borrowers, making it the largest financial inclusion program in the country. So I don't know how this is true. So you outside there can be able to tell me if you managed to take the Hustler Fund, because the president said that about 21 million Kenyans who are called hustlers managed to take Hustler Fund to a tune of 42 billion, and this one is making it the largest financial inclusion program in the country. There's shillings 300, which is what the vulnerables will be paying to access the health coverage, that is the NHIF. They say those people who've been paying 500 will now have to pay 300 to ensure that everybody has got an NHIF. So the question that people might be asking is that after paying this 300, will it give us the quality of the service? I remember there was some debate when Professor Nyang'nyong'o was the Minister of Medical Services, and he's the one who proposed this 500, and he said that, okay, if we want quality service, then it means we need to pay amount of money that is going to match that service. Then he said there is no need of people like you pay something like 200 shillings for insurance fund. Then when you get sick, this amount cannot be able to cater for your medical expenses. So we said it is better that we raise it to amount like 500, and this 500 will be enough to cater for your medical needs. So the president is now lowering, bringing it back to 300. So the question Kenyans should be asking, will this 300 be enough? Will we get the services? We were told there is even cancer screening and cancer treatment is going to be free. So let us wait and see what is going to happen. 31 is the number of active housing development so far. The president said that there are 31 housing development sites that are active, and there are 31 more that will be active soon, and there are more that are still being designed. So inamaanisha wachoraji bado wanachora. So let us wait and see what is going to happen. And 4 million is the number of learners. Learners have been told that they are going to receive what we call coding lessons. We are going to be having some coding lessons that have been approved by the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. So 4 million Kenyans are going to be enrolled. So let us wait and see if these Kenyans will manage to enroll. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining me now, let me remind you that this is Afriq morning show. These are newspaper reviews that we bring to you each and every morning to ensure that we update you with what is happening in the country and across the globe. Actually, when you wake up very early in the morning, sometimes it is really hard to get to know what happened or what is taking place. So that is why we take this opportunity to update you and also to tell you what is on our daily newspapers, both local and international. That's why I told you we're going to look at what is in the Standard, what is in the Nation, what is in the East Africa, Nairobian, Mount Kenya, and any other newspaper that you may think of. Keep it here and ensure you subscribe, you share, and you also invite others. Always glad updating you so that when you go to work, you go when you're already updated. I've also shared the link there, so you can use the link that I've shared in the comment section to join the studio. Actually, as we are reviewing the newspaper, we'll also have to talk about it because there's some of the things that we need to ask to know your opinion and also to know your feeling. That is why I've shared the link there. You can join me on the studio. And despite that, you can also send your comments on the comment section. I'll be able to read them out, your feeling, your comments, and your recommendations. What do you think that we need to do so that we can be able to update you better? Good year, it's a good morning, and I'm happy to see you there. You're saying that Ruto's idea of visa-free is a bad gamble. We'll start having all sorts of who will claim to be Kenyans also. Miss also in the revenue being brought in. Law and order will be thrown to the window. I totally agree with you because, you know, most countries, they do charge visa. And when you allow people to have visa before they enter your country, the most important thing is that we normally get some revenue. For you to come to Kenya for a month, you have to pay like some dollars, some $50 to $100. So this is a way that government is generating revenue, whether you're coming for visit, whether you're coming for maybe a trip, or you're coming for any business trip or something like that, you have to pay the government some revenue. So when you say visa-free, number one, we are going to miss on the revenue. Number two, scrutinizing and the security is also going to be compromised. Remember, we're also having neighbors who are interested in coming to the country. And because of the visa process and the visa issue, you'll find that sometimes they don't find it easy because you have to see who's getting in and who's getting out. So those are some of the challenges that we're going to experience, but let us wait and see. He is the head of state. He was given the mandate. So right now he is the driver. We can only advise him and tell him the better roads to follow, but we cannot drive because he's the one on the steering. Look at the second page of the standard. He's talking about the president says increased taxation pull the country from debt to debt default. It's being rumored that Kenya was almost defaulting on its debts. So now the president is saying that you people are crying that, oh, we've increased the taxes, oh, we are charging you several amounts in terms of fees. But now look, what I'm telling you is this: these debts that you people are crying and complaining of, they really help us. They've really pulled us out of the debt. So we are no longer defaulting, and very soon, very soon, the country is going to bounce back. With his numbers, I don't know if they are authentic. Maybe the relevant authorities will be able to authenticate and tell us if the president was right. He said that the inflation rate has dropped from 9.2% to 6.8%, and we're currently at 6.8%. So you can be able to see some colorful pictures of what happened there yesterday. And those ones are some religious leaders at our KDF during the colorful ceremony that was held at the Uhuru Gardens in Nairobi to mark and celebrate the 60th birthday or the 60th Jamhuri Day in the country. So I'll not read through, but when you get your paper, you'll be able to read through. 9 CS, 11 governors awarded state honors. I remember at these specific celebrations, we normally have the president giving some state awards like the CHG, I don't know, all those titles that you see people using. So among the people who awarded, I was also able to see some comedians like Awenja getting some awards. And among the people who awarded, we are having 9 CS, 11 governors, they got awarded. So I don't know the criteria that is normally used, but just to take you through quickly, 9 cabinet secretaries and 11 governors, among other 900 individuals who awarded. In total, they awarded 900 individuals. So the CS who got the award was CS Davis Chirchir. I know somebody is complaining somewhere at the scan, Davis Chirchir was awarded because when we talk of Chirchir, Chirchir is synonymous to darkness. And we always, whenever the power goes off, the person who comes in your mind is Davis Chirchir. So he was awarded yesterday. They also awarded Penina Malonza, that is the CS East African community. Ezekiel Machogu, your CS education, you know the regularities that were there when the KCP was announced. He also got awarded. We also had the missing agriculture CS, somebody called me Thika Litulu, the former Meru senator, also got awarded. They were conferred the status of the elder of the Order of the Golden Heart, that is EGH. So now when you meet Machago, you call him EGH. Machagu. We have EGH Penina, and we also have EGH Davis Chirchir. So note that so that you don't fail to address them the way you need to address them. Apart from that, I also have to say that there are other CSS who are affected with the EGH award, which include Pantuya, the environment. We had somebody called Zakaria Njeru. We had Eliud Owalo, that is the cabinet secretary for ICT. We had Rebecca Miano, the trade and investment cabinet secretary, and Susan Nafumicha, that is the CS, how we call it, the CS health. The governors who got the Pacific Award, we had Governor Wavinya Ndeti, Jonathan B. That one was in issue. We had our own Governor Johnson Sakaja, the Governor Susan Kihika, Adam Khalif, Dr. Johnson Sakaja, the Governor Gladys Wanga, Cecil Mberere, Ahmed Abdullahi of Wajir, and the Chief of Defense Forces General Francis Ogola, and the Head of Public Service Felix Koskei were among the people who got awarded and recognized. If we keep on flipping the next page, I can see Ruto Flings open Kenyans' door to the world with the visa-free gamble. I think I've talked of that, and it is upon you now to give us the implications. What is going to happen in this visa-free? And maybe next in our discussion, we are going to discuss that. We are going to weigh and see what are some of the effects of visa-free. So with me, I can see Bwana Jeff Buru. Jeff Buru, good morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Long time, huh? How is everything?
Everything is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I became a little bit busy,
No.
but today I have said I have to come and see what is going on here.
Yes, that is nice. Welcome. And maybe on the first question that I just want to ask you, I know you are away, you're out of the country, and the countries that you are, majorly when people are visiting these countries, they normally have this thing called a visa. Huh? You need a visa. And I know there are some specific locations when people are allowed to go on a visa free, like Kenya can currently, if you're a Kenyan citizen holding a Kenyan passport, there are about 42
Yes.
countries that you can visit for free. Like there's some that limit our visit to 30 days, and there's some that give us up to 90 days, like South Africa. And we know the effects of maybe having a visa and not having a visa. So the president yesterday declared that in January, we are going to make Kenya a visa-free, meaning if you are from whichever country, he said across the globe, whichever country, whether your country is at war, whether your country is stable, whether your country is risky, you'll just have to walk in without hassling those requirements that I need a visa or such kind of thing. So what does this one imply, or what are some of the implications economically as far as our security is concerned, and also as far as our social relation is concerned? So maybe your quick opinion on that.
What I can say, to me, I think it is not a very good decision, especially when you open the borders for everybody. Those nations that are below Kenya in terms of economic development, their people will flock into the nation. And if we don't have enough jobs for our own people, the little resources that we have, you find that is what people from outside will compete for. You see? So there will be high competition for the resources. So for those nations that are below Kenya economically, I see a situation whereby there will be people flocking to Kenya. Just imagine a nation like America, if they open the borders and they say everybody is free to come to America, how many people would remain in Africa? And we have a projection, and we believe that Kenya will also develop, and it will develop maybe faster than many nations. What will happen? We will have very high population in Kenya. So it's good to have some measures, some regulations, not to let everybody and anybody to come. Maybe they're gonna put some limits, because you cannot just open borders like that. Maybe they will say Uh, anyway, without a visa, I don't know how they're gonna control. But I see a situation where the nation will be overwhelmed by people coming from all over, especially in the war-torn countries. People will just come. You know, people who come from Sudan, people who come from Somalia, people who come from all over. Right now, you see, even a nation like Nigeria, when people from Nigeria come to Kenya, they don't want to go back to their country. Why? Because Kenya, though we complain so much as if our nation is too bad, Kenya has opportunities, especially for those who have capitals to start their businesses, for those who are hardworking, they're able to do their businesses. So Kenya should not be opened for every Dick, Tom, and Harry to come. At least they should be. It is a good thing, especially for Africa, to come together. But I don't think it will be a very prudent idea to open the borders for everybody to come because we don't have many jobs. We should first of all think of the impact. I don't know whether the president has conducted a study because I don't think he is a professional in that side. So what he should be telling us is we have conducted a study and we have seen the implication of what we want to do. And these are results, these are the benefits that the Kenyans will get out of open borders. So I am yet to see a comprehensive report of what they want to achieve out of it. Will it be positive impact or will it be negative impact? If the negativities will be more than positivities, then they should suspend such an idea. So for me, I believe that things should not just happen. You cannot just wake up one day and make such a decision. It requires a lot of thinking, a lot of research, so that we don't make a mess. Because right now, many nations are thinking of, you see, even when there was war in Israel, many nations said, no, even if these people are coming from war, we will not let them to enter into our country. Why are they doing that? Is to protect the interest of the citizens. So everything need to be controlled, and we should control our nation. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't have enough information on what has been done and what should be done and all that. But when I'll have comprehensive report, I'll be able to comment more on that matter.
Thank you so much. I can see karibu sana Larry Mo. Larry Mo is saying Niko na swali. Raila is challenging the authenticity of Ruto's win by lack of the certification of Form 34 is and complete scrutiny of the Nyugus. Are we not just watch distraction? Okay, Larry, when we reach there, I think we'll be able to have that kind of discussion and we'll be able to maybe get some better response to that. I can see Goodia is asking, does it mean that Kenya will not have border agencies? This is one way to reduce Kenyan ground zero. Okay, actually the border agencies are always there, but you know, when you talk of the visa, there's normally a due process that is involved. You always have to apply for the visa prior to your visit, and there's normally some background check that is normally done with your country and the country you are visiting, so that they can be able to know the kind of the person you are as far as the security is concerned. And when you join the country, they will also be able to follow up. They need to know when you're coming to Kenya, who are you, what are you going to do, who are you going to visit, or if you're going to stay here, you have to stay, you're going to stay in a restaurant, you have to prove that you booked and reserved such restaurants. So in case you overstay or in case of anything, they can be able to they can be able to, yeah. Oh, just a minute and I'll let you know.
Nilisema mwaka wa 98.
Oh, sorry for that. I was trying to tell you that, so they will always have to check for the security reason. So in this case, it means we are going to lose that revenue. And maybe, in my opinion, the first thing that the president would have done would have really spent a lot of time marketing our, how do you call it, tourism center, so that at least we market ourselves as a tourist destination. So with that, we'll be having, even if we declare visa free, we need to be able to know which kind of people normally visit our country for tourist activities. So which country has got the major tourists coming to Kenya? Then such countries are the ones that are normally given visa free, so that we know very well when they come, we're going to have some economical gain. Otherwise, let us give him time. He is the president, he is the driver. We can only advise, but we cannot force what is happening. So if you can be able to see on that page that I'm opening, that is page 4 of the standard, they're talking of the leaders countrywide decry high cost of living, hit out as at poor CS. So yesterday is an opportunity that some of the CS managed to go and celebrate the so-called Jamhuri Day with their village mates or their relatives over there. So people were able to tell them what is happening, what is wrong, and what is going on. So that is what you can see on page 4. So call for the government to address the high cost of living. There you can be able to see the DC Governor Simba Arati in his area and leading the celebrations in Kisii. So when you get your paper, you'll be able to look at it well. There's a page here that is Kenya schools. They're just doing some advertisements. I know the schools are going to open in January, so that's a sponsored content. So they're trying to tell you how their students performed in the KCP, with the first one, Alphas Miheso, getting 413. So as a parent, such kind of decisions will always help you identify the best school for your kids. You know, performance determines you take these kids so that they can be able to perform well. The state is set to employ 56,000 teachers to upgrade key facilities in schools. So this is some of the good news for those people who are in education center. As the president says that allocation to education sector has been increased an additional 127 billion, and he also says that 46 billion from this year's allocation will support a new university funding model designed to provide equal opportunities for every Kenyan. Though I know there have been some controversy and a lot of questions on this new university model, but the state has really set aside 46 billion from the allocation is going to be used in funding that university body, the university funding model that was designed by the Kenya Kwanza government. And good news to the teachers outside there that the government is going to employ about 56,000. That is quite a good number that when maybe spread across the country, we are going to create some employment and reduce the level of unemployed teachers in the country. We have to give it to the government for such a great stride. That one, I think you can be able to look at it. Uhuru tells Mount Kenya, this is so interesting, and I'm glad I'm having Jeff here. And you saw recently President Uhuru had some meeting with the Jubilee, how do you call it? Some Jubilee delegates. So this is interesting. Uhuru tells Mount Kenya to oppose punitive policies. Former president says he has no regret for supporting Raila, and he also says that people's representatives should provide leadership. So these representatives are the MPs, yeah. So former President Uhuru Kenyatta now says time has vindicated him for his support for Zimio leader Raila's presidential bid, and according to the Jubilee Party leader, he has no regret for supporting Raila. Always stand for the truth. I stood with my truth and opted for Raila because I knew him. People's representatives should provide leadership instead of being dictated by the wave. Uhuru told a section of Mount Kenya leaders who paid Raila a visit. So Uhuru challenged the leaders to stand with the electorate and call out the Kenya Kwanza government on its punitive policies hurting the people. At the same time, he affirmed that he was happy with the projects initiated when he was the president and implored on the leaders to tell the people the truth of the status of the projects. So his remarks came in the wake of the disquiet among the Mount Kenya region over relocation of funds meant to Mount Kenya region and protest over the Mau Mau road connecting Kiambu, Murang'a, Nyeri and Nyandarua countries. So you'll have to read more about it. So Mr. Jeff, I think I'll have to engage you on this. Is Uhuru coming back to politics? That is the first question. And number two, Uhuru is telling Mount Kenya leaders to oppose the punitive policies. And you know, in this country, how do you oppose these punitive policies? Is he telling the Mount Kenya leaders to start calling for maandamanos and the demonstrations? Mr. Mburu.
Yes, I can hear you.
What?
First of all,
Who's
it
the
is, yeah, did you want to ask a question?
no, no, just proceed.
Yes, I want to say that it is a mistake for Uhuru to stipulate that he has been vindicated for what he was standing for. Even when he is saying that those in leadership should provide directions and solutions to the people's problems. I want to remind him that even during his tenure, there was a big problem. And for him, he lacked solutions. I remember when the Kenya Kwanza government was assuming power, people were still lining up, even 3 hours, looking for gas, looking for petroleum and diesel in Kenya. We should not forget. So he should not say that he was a good leader and that he was trying to offer direction. Though the cost of fuel right now is high, the fact is fuel is available. So it wasn't making sense to say yes, the cost is not very high, but even to get that, fuel was very hard. People were lining up, and people were even buying petroleum in jerry cans so that they can sell to those who are in line. It was a business people were doing. So he was a confused president that did not have the details of what was happening. So many things that went wrong during Uhuru Kenyatta's time is because he was not up to the game. Those that were working with him were more proactive than him. There are so many things that he seems not to be, he was not understanding many things that were going on. For him, he was only receiving reports of what is happening. And that is why he does not understand why the economy went the way it went. You remember there was a time Uhuru was asked by the journalists in Kenya, why is it that there is no money in the pocket of common mwananchi? He could not understand the concept of inflation. He said, I don't know. He didn't know. He was not well informed. So this is not someone who was so detailed that now he can tell us he even knew what he was doing. Many things that went wrong because the president never took time to study what he was doing. Even those projects that, yes, we have mega projects, but can I tell you, the big problem we have in Kenya today, and the big problem that the Kenya Kwanza government is trying to solve, is the government of inflated projects. They were inflated, and maybe even the president was not aware. But those who do studies, they tell us that the projects were inflated 3 times the normal price, many of them. It is because the president was not so detailed on what he was doing. And then he was told, Mr. President, and you remember, there is a lot of corruption in Kenya. Why are you not trying to help? He said, what do you want me to do? There is nothing I can do. And he said, I wish there is something I can do. That was the former president. So even telling that the Mount Kenya people rise and fight or even demonstrate and such kind of things, he should know that we honored him with good 10 years, imagine, as the president of the Republic of Kenya. Nobody demonstrated against him, especially from his backyard. We gave him peace. He never faced hard time like they have tried to make the life very hard for the current president. He should, if he thinks he has a solution to the problems that the Kenyans are going through, what he should do as a leader, he should collaborate with the current president, give him his advice if he thinks he has any, but I doubt. And if Uhuru thinks that he is so popular, let him contest for anything. He'll be ashamed again. He'll be ashamed again. We voted for for William Ruto in central Kenya, knowing that Uhuru Kenyatta was our president and we had voted for him. And we knew very well he was supporting Raila Odinga. And the reason why the Mount Kenya people refused to vote for Raila Odinga is not because they never wanted to vote for Raila Odinga. It is because they were sabotaging Uhuru Kenyatta. They wanted to show him, don't think that you can direct people, or don't think that you own people and that your decision is final. You know, the way he was doing it was totally wrong. So what I want to say is that there is no development, there is no growth that can come through violence, through people fighting. But there can be development and progress when people are able to reason and to listen to one another. So the former president, as a statesman, imagine we don't have another former president. We only have Uhuru Kenyatta. But he is behaving not as a statesman, the man we should be running to for advice. He is behaving as a contestant or as someone who is an opposition. That is not what is expected of him. He should allow Raila Odinga to pray the opposition role. He should allow William Ruto to pray the role of the presidency, and for him to become as a statesman to advise when needed to offer a counsel both to the opposition and to the government. As it is right now, it seems Uhuru Kenyatta does not know who he is. He is suffering from a problem of not knowing himself, what we call self-actualization. He doesn't know that he is someone who is recognized across the world as the former president of the Republic of Kenya. When we need somebody to go somewhere as a statesperson to offer counsel in Africa, it is Uhuru Kenyatta we should be sending. But right now, what he's doing, he is only degrading himself. Let him keep off politics. Let those who still have chance of contesting politics. For him, he should be relaxing somewhere, waiting to be, as a man.
Hold on there, Jeff. I can see Mr. G has also joined us, and on the comment section, guys, keep on sending those comments. I'll be able to reading them, and the ones that need some response will give them response. So you can also join the studio using the link that I've sent. So Good is telling you the difference between Uhuru and Ruto is that Uhuru had good people surrounding him, while Ruto had bad people around him. So that one, we'll get back to that. Mr. G, karibu. Mr. G.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, fine. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Yes, Uhuru Kenyatta is back telling the opposition that they need to oppose the punitive policies. So does it mean that the Mount Kenya elected leaders have not known their work? So Uhuru is back to push them and remind them? Your comment, please, sir.
Yeah, I saw him, I think it was a day before yesterday. And listening to Mburu, I don't know what it's your take, kwa sababu Mburu, the way he's talking, anasema kuwa they voted in Ruto just to punish Uhuru. And not even to punish Raila, but the main reason was to punish Uhuru. Sasa, at the moment, most of the people from Central Kenya are the one coming out wakisema wanaita baba aitishe maandamano kwa sababu hali imekuwa ngumu. So what is it ambao huyu Uhuru anaongea akisema kuwa it was the main purpose ilikuwa ni kupunish Uhuru, and the main purpose hawakutaka care about what will happen next. What they only wanted ni kupunish Uhuru, alafu wakubaliana na hali ambayo itakuwa. Nini imefanyika sasa mpaka sasa hivi tunaona kuwa they are the same people who are calling for baba to come and call for maandamano kwa sababu mambo imekuwa ngumu. Alafu another thing, Uhuru anasema kuwa Uhuru Kenyatta is not dedicated. For how many times tunaona Uhuru akiwa ametoka on the mountain akiwa anaonywa, akionywa watu, akiambia watu kuwa in case you vote in this guy, these things will happen, some things will happen. Na tumeona all those things ambazo Uhuru alisema zimekuwa vindicated. Sasa Uhuru anasema kuwa Uhuru hajakuwa vindicated. Is it about that bitterness ama hatred ama what is it? I still don't understand what is happening. Mburu, maybe you can elaborate more, nielewe kuwa ni bitterness kwa Uhuru ndio inafanya ama ni nini? Because for me I think Uhuru is vindicated, na alijaribu kuona watu sana, akawaambia, and he knew who Ruto is, but you guys, you went ahead na mkamvote in. Sasa ni nyinyi ambao mnalia watu wenyu, si wewe, because wewe unasema nchi iko sawa, economy imeshakuwa stable, iko sawa, kila kitu iko sawa, but your own people from your area they are still lamenting, wanalia sana, wakilalamika kuwa hali imekuwa ngumu. So is it about bitterness and hatred ama ni nini? Bado sijaelewa.
Oh, tukiendelea, I think Mr. G also getting, that's a good question, and as we move on, I know Uhuru will be able to respond to you, because Uhuru, when he met those guys, the Jubilee and the Mount Kenya leaders who paid him courtesy call, he told them that I warned you and I'm now vindicated. Everything that I told you is now turning out to be true, and I don't regret the step or the direction that I took when I told you and I showed you to vote for Raila. And Bura confirmed to you that them who did not vote for Raila from Mount Kenya, it is not because they did not want Raila, but it is because they did not want Uhuru Kenyatta. So in other words, if I maybe rephrase what Bura said, he said that Raila did not get votes in Mount Kenya, not because he's hated there. He did not get vote because of his association to Uhuru Kenyatta, who is hated there. And if dared Uhuru, if he's popular, to contest again, forgetting that Uhuru contested for 2 years as a president, and that is enough to show that he is popular. Otherwise, I know that debate we are coming back there. You should look at still, guys, I think if I take you through the paper that we were looking at, just next to that, we are told that the Matatu owners and the motorists oppose the proposed NTSA fees. I know there are some fees that have been proposed by the National Transport and the Transport Authority. It has been opposed by the Matatu owners. They're saying that there was no public participation taken. Look at this now. There's a cartoon there. I just want to, apart from this is an editorial, the opinion by somebody, the opinion there, you'll be able to get your paper and read it through. Somebody has given his humble opinion. And there's a quote there from William Ruto. It shall no longer be necessary for any person from any corner of the globe to carry the burden of applying for a visa to come to Kenya. So that was declared, and most people are really debatable. People are really debating this, that is it out of desperation that we now want to open Kenya for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come in? And is it out to try and please the world? Why are we gambling with the visa? So it is something that we'll just need a whole show to discuss about the implication of visa free. And I think we are going to organize that. One of our political talks or our straight talks, we're going to discuss that. So there is a pig that has been drawn there on that cartoon. And up there, there are some banks, I think they're celebrating. And this is the profit. And the people who are holding the profit is so fat. So the pig represents the fatness of the profit. Then on top of it, we have some banks, some different people celebrating, having some money. You can be able to see it. And there are some people who are carrying this profit. Some have already died, have already fallen down, and are really in distress. So I don't know how you interpret this cartoon, my viewer. At your own time, you'll be able to interpret the cartoon. I don't know these kind of people who are they're really working hard. They're really working hard. And the profit is huge, but there are people who are benefiting, the ones who are now standing on top of the profit there. So it's really funny, but it speaks the truth of how our country is. You can also read about the state miscommunication that has fueled El Nino floods misery. This is something that we've said in this channel, that the flood misery that you're having in Kenya has been fueled by state misinformation, whereby the president is telling you that we've prayed and the El Nino is not going to be there. Then the next day, even before you reach home, you find that the place is flooded. So this kind of misinformation is what has led to the problems and the challenges that we are having currently. So if you get your standard today, you'll be able to go through it. Let me see if there's something so interesting here. Is from the Moses Kuria. You can see him there, the Public Service Performance and Delivery Management Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria addresses the delegates during the globalization conference in Nairobi on Monday. So there is a plan to set up a nuclear research facility at Konza City. It's going to kick off. So that is some good news to those people who are around there. This one comes with some sort of employment opportunities. So we cannot be able to complain. What else do we need to know? The Motor Digest. So for those people who love the motor, you can buy a newspaper and be able to see and also go through and know what is happening. On sports, the PSG aim to fight fire with fire. So for those people who love the football, I can just give you the fixtures of today. We are going to have the fixtures there. We are going to have the how do you call it? The Creva is going to play Man City. RP Leipzig is going to play Young Boys. We are going to have Barcelona having Antwerp, Atletico Madrid with Lazio, Dortmund, Borussia, and PSG. Of course, Celtic will meet Feyenoord, and FC Porto is going to play Shakhtar, not Shakahola. The Newcastle United will have to meet what we call the AC Milan. So those are for those people who normally like sports. So, Mr. G, there's a question that you asked Uhuru. I'll give him an opportunity to respond to as I take you to the next newspaper, that is The Nation. We see what is in The Nation. So, Mr. Uhuru, Mr. G I've asked you, is it that you hate Uhuru? Because according to him, he feels Uhuru is just being a gentleman. What do you say of that? 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. And I just want to rectify even your statement, Mr. Leo, because you said that the people of Central Kenya voted to punish Uhuru, who was hated. That is not the word that I used. I am always very careful with the words that I use. I have never said in this platform or in any other platform that the people of Central Kenya hate Uhuru Kenyatta. But the methodology he was using to sell Baba was totally wrong. He was so forceful. He was so chest thumping, you know. And that is not the language you are supposed to use to the people you expect to offer you a job. He wasn't humble. If you compare how William Ruto did his campaign, he knows how to soothe people. He knows how to talk to people and to reason to people. And that is why he was in a position to penetrate in the backyard of the former president, and people embraced him. But what was happening with the former president whenever he went to Central Kenya? He was so furious because people were refusing to follow him. Instead of using the power of persuasion, he was using terms as ukiona simba amenyeshewa, usidhani ni paka, watu wasidhani mimi ni kihe yao, nitawatoa huko kwenye wanaenda. I mean, his language was totally misplaced. So Mr. G, you're gonna get time, eh? The language he was using was very bad. And I wish Baba knew, because for me, I could tell that you cannot go to people when you are furious, when you are angry, to them, and they are the same people you are expecting to follow you or to follow your ideas. So my problem is how Uhuru was approaching his backyard. I wish he sent other people to campaign for Baba, because he was feeling entitled, like Central Kenya belonged to him. And people realized, oh, this guy, he is taking us for granted. He thinks he owns us. And that is where he went wrong. Myself, I don't hate Uhuru. I voted for Uhuru. I campaigned for Uhuru. At 5 a.m., I used to be on the line to vote for Uhuru Kenyatta. So anybody thinking that the Central Kenya people hate Uhuru, no. We honored him and we still respect him. But it doesn't mean that whatever he supports, we should support, or whatever he says is right. No, that one, we don't do it that way in Central Kenya. However, I just want to say that though the current government is struggling and we are saying we are blaming President Ruto so much, we should ask ourselves, this struggle, especially with the debt, where the debt came from? Did we even get the value for our money? These are problems that emanated from the previous government. And I always say, let us tell our leaders when they go wrong. Like I'm saying here, I am not supporting when the president says that we should open our borders and everybody who want to get to Kenya should come to Kenya. For me, I think they should do more research on that to see how it should be done. For me, I also feel there is no control. There is no way we can have a country without control of our borders and how people are flocking to our nation. That one, for me, I think it can lead to something which is not very pleasant to the nation. So I don't think anybody hates Uhuru. No, 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 no. And I want to tell the people of Kenya as I conclude that topic is I know things are tough, but things even become tougher when people are coming out of them. So there are strategies, and I know and I believe that William Ruto is not a fool. There are strategies he has laid down. And those strategies are not to solve like Uhuru was doing. He was just giving subsidies for short-term solutions. William Ruto is able to see far and come up with strategies for long-term. So right now the issues of subsidies that were never paid. You were told that Unga is at 100. But now the current government was the one which was left with the burden of settling the debts of even the money that was supposed to be paid for subsidies. Those are the mistakes that the president was just making because he was not using professionals to advise him on how to do things. So for me, I want to believe that there is something, though things are very tough, there is something that the government is doing before things get better. And for me, I wish and I pray that the nation of Kenya will progress and the government of William Ruto will succeed. And I will support Ruto to the end.
Thank you so much, Guru, for opening up. Okay, that's a debate that maybe we'll continue with the next time. Mr. G, I think Guru has pronounced himself. These are things that people say outside there. Those some are not factual, but everybody has got the right to their opinion. You cannot challenge somebody's opinion. The only thing that can be challenged are facts, but the opinions cannot be challenged. It is what somebody deeply believes in, and there's nothing we can do about it. Maybe to take you through
Mr.
the
Leo,
first page. Yes.
Mr. Leo, yeah, before you
Yes.
go to Daily Nation, I
Yeah.
have a rebut with the Mr. Mburu. He talked about the language. He talked about the language that our president Uhuru Kenyatta used, and he said that he was so arrogant, he was so forceful. But I can ask Mburu a question, although you wanted us to leave this topic alone. But I think I need to understand something. Was Uhuru speaking after being provoked, or he was just speaking anyhow without by the other guy who is oh, I have a point. Just a minute.
You know, Mr. G, Mr. Leo, can you hear me? Yeah, Mr. Leo, Mr. Uhuru, nobody provoked him. He was provoking himself because he was the president and he had this attitude of entitlement. So the fact that people were questioning his decisions, he felt that he has no obligation to explain to people why he has chosen this person and not the other person. And not only that, he became so provoked when he saw his deputy pursuing his ambition. So what was wrong with William Ruto declaring that he is contesting to become the president? So for me, my conclusion is Uhuru is just a selfish person who was feeling bad. He was envious of his deputy. And there are so many people who don't want to see their juniors rise. And I want to tell you, Mr. G, maybe you have a son. You are a father to that son. A good person is the one who desires to see a son rise and even become better. If you never went to university, you'd like your child to go to the university. But what happens with our leaders? They don't want those who are junior to them to ever rise. And that is what was happening with Uhuru Kenyatta. He saw the star of his deputy shining, and he became so envious. He became so, he was just being selfish. William Ruto supported this Uhuru from the days of Kanu until he became the president. But it was so hard for him to say, thank you. You supported me. I have nothing against you. Everybody knows that in the Republic of Kenya, nobody has ever stood with Uhuru Kenyatta than William Ruto. Even when President Moi declared that Uhuru Kenyatta is the one he is supporting, William Ruto stood behind Uhuru Kenyatta. When Uhuru Kenyatta failed to become the president, everybody else left Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto stood with him to the end. Surely, hata kama ni wewe leo, nimekusupport miaka kama 20 nikiwa nyuma yako, nikiambia watu. In fact, if you remember when Uhuru was being inaugurated, when William Ruto was given a chance to give a speech, he said that his password for his phone number 1 is Uhuru Kenyatta 1, and the other one was President Uhuru Kenyatta 1 and President Uhuru Kenyatta 2, because he believed in him. Leo, if I support you for 20 years, would it be so hard for you to say, because this man has stood with me, I will just, even if you don't want him to become, I will say, you would have said, I will let him do his campaign. If he wins, well and good. But even right now, he is so bitter. He has never healed that his deputy became the president. Such kind of selfishness is what we don't want in Kenya. Just like I say in this platform, I wasn't very happy when I saw Raila Odinga campaign for Mwai Kibaki so hard. And then, when they won, they never wanted to listen to Raila Odinga. That kind of betrayal is what has caused a lot of hatred in the Republic of Kenya. Me, I believe in justice. If Leo, today you do good things to me, I will forever reciprocate. But what happens with our leaders? You go with them in the field for hunting. After you win, the one who becomes the leader, he wants to eat the whole deer alone. And that is what happened. And that is where the rain started beating us. Even from the time of Kenyatta, those people who fought with him, when he became the president, he betrayed them. And that is why you see there is great division in Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta went everywhere, telling people, Yagu kumi, support me. Yagu kumi, ya Ruto kumi. He said that more than 1,000 times. Then hapa anakuja kutuambia nimebadilika. Umebadilika kwa nini? Kwa sababu kuna kitu umeahidiwa. It is wrong. It is wrong. So we should start telling our leaders, can you start with your words? If you agree something with Raila Odinga or any other leader, can you fulfill that? Lakini wasituletee hiyo michezo huwa wanafanya. And hapo ndipo tunaenda vibaya. By the way, people think that I was very happy wakati niliona after, do you know, Raila Odinga campaigned for Kibaki when he was in a wheelchair. Lakini wakati Kibaki aliwin, Raila was only given the Ministry of Roads. Yet they had an MOU, which was saying they're going to change the constitution and create a position for prime minister. Was it so hard for that to be done? No. Na hapo ndipo sasa unaona chuki ya makabila. Kwa sababu here there is somebody who has done you good, but you don't.
Nilisema mwaka wa 98 kwamba nitajiuzulu ama nitastaafu kipindi hiki cha miaka 5 ikisha. Wengine hawakuamini kwa sababu wanaamini power katika kontinenti la Afrika kwamba kuna mtu anaweza kuwacha power ya urais. Power iko kwa wananchi, na sisi tu ni wadhamini yao.
All right. Thank you, guys. This Afriq morning daily newspaper review or daily newspaper updates. What we're doing here, we just trying to update you. We are trying to update your morning. We are trying to ensure that when you leave the house, going to work or going wherever you're going to, you go out there updated. You go there informed and connected. Of course, we have to tell you what our daily newspapers have, so that even before you decide on which paper you are going to buy, already you have an idea of what is inside. Now, we can do that just reading for you and telling you what is in the newspaper. We're also getting your views. As we're reading these newspapers, we also try to know how do you feel about the headlines. How do you feel about the opinions that have been expressed there? That is why I'm having with me Jeff Uhuru and Mr. G mwenyewe, so that we can be able to try and weigh on these opinions and also add on our opinions. Together with the opinion, we are going to make this country move ahead. We are going to have an informed generation and a connected generation. So keep it here at Afriq 24-hour TV. And if you've not subscribed, it is my pleasure, or it's my call that you do subscribe, share, and invite others. And of course, we are in the month of December. This is the month of happiness. This is the month of holidays. This is a month of celebrations and the month of being together. This is a month that you have to go visit your family, visit your friends, and enjoy some fun moments. And here at Afriq, hatukuachi nyuma. At the end of the month, we are going to reward our loyal fans, our loyal followers, and those people who've been joining this show, who've been participating in the show. We will not leave you unrewarded. So keep it here. And it's normally good that whenever you join, you let us know who you are, where you're joining from, so that when that opportune moment comes, we'll be able to know that surely this person have always been present. I know there are so many silent followers, but kindly don't be silent. We will not award those people who are silent. We'll only award those people that we've heard from. So if you've not clicked on the like, the share, and on the subscribe button, kindly do so. Daily Nation, just like the Standard, if I look at the first page, it's talking of Ruto. Kenya is on the right track. So you as Kenyan, you know, this is the president. He's not an expert as in the matters of the economy, but he has advisors who are experts. So when he says Kenya is on the right track, maybe this is based on the advice that is being given. So it's upon the experts to confirm and authenticate if it is true that Kenya is on the right track. So as we marked the 60th anniversary, our president says that the country is out of danger and the economy is on a stable footing. So we as Kenyans are yet to see and confirm this. Kando pale can also see Azimio wants Sabina Chege to refund pacts for Jubilee whip post. You know what has been there? Sabina Chege was the Jubilee whip, but when the rebel side of the Jubilee that joined Kenya Kwanza, you know, Jubilee is part of the Azimio, which is minority. So when they joined Kenya Kwanza, it means they stopped being minority and they joined the majority. She still earned some perks or some benefits or some allowances as the minority whip. So she was earning some allowances as a minority, yet she had confessed that she joined the majority. So my colleagues here, I just want to get your opinion. Is it right? Is it fair for Sabina Chege to return the perks that she earned illegally? Here now we are now talking of justice, irrespective of the political view. Is it honest, or is it a matter of integrity that she need to return the money that she earned and she did not deserve to earn. Mr. G, I'll start with you. Mr. G, can you hear me? Oh, Jeff, it seems Mr. G is not there. What do you have to say? Sabina Chege is being told to return the amount or the pack that she earned as the minority chief whip when she'd already crossed over. Oh, Mr. G is back. I'll start with you, Mr. G. What is your opinion? Arudishe pesa ama hii pesa ni ya wananchi ya kule tu?
Sorry, nimekuwa busy on call hata sijasikia, sijui ni pesa gani hii, sijasikia.
The Azimio wants Sabina Chege to refund the packs for Jubilee Whip. Remember, she was the Jubilee Whip, and this kind of position, there's normally some allowances or some payment that they give you. But she moved, she crossed over to the majority, but still was earning these kind of allowances. And now Azimio is saying that now that she's been de-whipped and everything, the legal process has been followed, she needs to refund this money.
Oh, sorry, tena napigiwa simu. Pole, I will come back.
It's okay, we'll get to it. Mr. Jeff, your opinion?
So, Mr. Leo, I would like us to begin by the word you are using, earning. Do you know what we mean by earn? If I say you have earned yourself a salary, what do I mean?
Actually, I should not say earning. If you earn, it means you get it in an honest way and it is gotten in a legal way. So in this case, when they want her to refund this money, it means she did not deserve it. She got it maybe out of greed, whereby I say, I'm not working with you, but I'm earning salary from your organization.
Where have you heard that somebody has been paid and now he is being requested to refund the money? Where in the world? Which principle is that? Because Sabina Chege was right free in the office until such a time when she was told now, due or because of ABCD, you are no longer a holder of that office. From that point is when she stopped working. So the word you had used was the right word. She had earned whatever she was paid until such a time when she was pronounced that she is no longer a holder of that position. Nobody can request her to return the money she was paid for the position she was holding. So such a request or demand from her that she refunds the money is just malicious, and it cannot have any ground in the court of law. That's my take.
Thank you. I think that is well answered. It is just malicious, and we should not have some hope that she's going to refund that. Maybe just moving to the next page, I can see the mics and the Kenya from all walks of life throng various venues across the country celebrating the day. There are some beautiful photos there. If you get an opportunity to grab a copy, of viewers will be able to see. There's some beautiful photos there. You can see the Kirinyaga second-term Governor Anne Waiguru walking to grace the occasion. I can see on the other end the Busia Governor Paul Otuoma enjoying some traditional dance at Nambale Polytechnic grounds yesterday. That is where the Busia County held their 60th Jamhuri Day celebration. Below, there are some elders who are following proceedings during the celebrations that were done in Nyeri County at the Dedan Kimathi grounds. The elders, their face can tell you they've lived to see 60 years after independence, and there's some beautiful motorcade show there at Uhuru Gardens. That one is for those people who joined from Nairobi. There's somebody called David Masikonde Olerulei, 75-year old, is repairing bicycles by the roadside near El Burong town in Nakuru County as the county marked Jamhuri Day. So 75-year-old. So this guy was born some 15 years when we were celebrating the first Jamhuri Day. He was old enough, he was mature enough. 15 years is not just a year. So he was mature enough to know what was taking place. The other pages, there are some beautiful photos there. I can see the Kisumu governor, the governor of Europe, Professor Nyang' Nyong'o, having some dance over there. That is Governor Nyang' Nyong'o joining Kisumu kids African dancers in a performance at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga sports ground. And of course, the Kenyans were also given opportunity to view the historic photos of the Nairobi National Museum yesterday. I think it was free yesterday. So you can see Kenyans are there viewing history in pictures. So anything interesting? This one I think is a song that is sung in this country throughout. Tough economic policies will spur growth, Ruto says. So Ruto has really defended the tough economic policies like the increased taxation and the fee that is being levied, saying that this one is going to spur some economic growth. So guys, we need to embrace for the better. Welcome home, Kenya to end visa rules. I think we'd already discussed this in our, how do we call it, in the previous newspaper, and we managed to talk, we managed to look at it, and we are going to look at some of the implications of this visa-free thing. In our next talk, we are going to see some of the advantage and the disadvantage of the visa-free issue, so that Kenyans can be informed and Kenyans can be able to know what really is going to happen when the country finally decides to declare itself a visa-free. It has happened in some countries, not only in Kenya. This is the part that some people are waiting for. All over the media, people are saying that the attendance was low. So this one is talking about the low-key celebration of Jamhuri Day in majority of the counties. So there are some counties that people did not turn out to celebrate the Jamhuri Day. I don't know what might have been the cause, because it was projected that, okay, the turnout is not going to be that high, though the turnout was not good, but it performed beyond the expectations. Most Kenyans were expecting to see empty stadiums. So we have to say they really tried. So here, Nation is reporting that leaders give event a wide berth, and most Kenyans keep off, saying there's nothing to cheer about owing to the high cost of living. So simply because of the high cost of living, the Kenyans saying there's nothing to celebrate. Is this ethical? Is this really how to be patriotic? Mr. Jeff, what do you have to say? Kenyans are saying because of the high cost of living, they don't see anything that can be celebrated. Is this one being unpatriotic?
I saw many people celebrating, so I don't know which Kenyans. You know, in Kenya, we play a lot of politics, and especially our media. Our media, we know the people who control the media in Kenya. So, and people tend to think and to believe that whatever our media airs out there is the views of the majority of Kenyans. I did observe the Jamhuri, and I saw.
But the media representing is just illuminating the views of Kenyans. I think the media don't speak for themselves,
The
but they
media
speak for Kenyans.
The media in Kenya is totally manipulated. They don't act professionally. They lack the ethical code of conduct. They are bribed. They are corrupt, just like any other person. So if they say we are not celebrating, I saw everywhere in the Facebooks people writing Happy Mashujaa Day. I even received so many messages. Some of them I have not even responded from Kenyans. Actually, there were so many that I was unable to respond to all of them. I have seen in all the groups that I am in, people celebrating. I saw stadiums having people. I saw even where the president, Kenyans celebrated. So what they can say is that maybe compared to when, they should make a comparison. So for me, I think the turnout was very good, bearing in mind that what has been happening with the heavy rains in Kenya, and bearing in mind that also the cost of transport has gone very high. But that does not mean that people are not continuing to live their life. Yeah, things are hard, but that does not mean because things are tough today, it's going to remain like that. We are solving, or the Kenya Kwanza government is trying to solve problems that were created by those who are shouting so much. Some
Mr.
of them.
Guru, in that, I know you said it severally. I just want to bring to your attention that maybe, I don't know if you'll agree with me. Yes, I'm not denying that we are solving problems that were created by previous government. So the question that people have been asking, who are these who are in the previous government? Are they not the
Largely,
same people who are just allow me finish? Huh?
yes.
Are they not the same people who are the cabinet secretaries? Are they not the same people who is the president? Are they not the same people who are still like the leader of majority and the leaders that we have in the Senate and in the National Assembly? For example, let me start with the cabinet secretary. Babu Namwamba worked for the previous government until the last day, until the last date as a CAS. We are having Murkomen, who is the CS Transport, worked for the previous government. He was the leader of minority in the Senate until 2 years to election. And you know that the last 2 years in Kenya is normally for campaigns. There's nothing as far as development is concerned that can be done. That is historical. We're having Kimani Chungwa was the head of, how do you call it? He's the one who was the head of budget committee until the last 18 months to elections. Actually, I don't think much would have been done within the 18 months. You look at the deputy president with the deputy president until when he handed over, he didn't hand over actually, he transferred from the residence of the deputy president to the residence of the president. We are having people like Davis Chirchir work for the same government. Yeah, and actually David Cicero was a cabinet secretary, and because of corruption or such like kind of things, with him we can say he was maybe excused a bit. We are having people like Duale, who are the majority leader in the National Assembly until the last 18 months. So who are these people that we now need to blame? Because all of them are still back in that government. So is it that we are hoping to get some changes from the people who created the problem? They only change their
I'm
jerseys.
happy.
Like if you take those people who are playing for Manchester right now when Manchester is down, then they go change and go to Chelsea. Do you think they'll do something different?
I'm happy that you are talking, and many of those people you are saying they were in office until 18 months. Those are like 2 years. That is
2 years,
enough.
2 out of 10, that is 20%. So they
That
work for
is
the government
that
for
is
80%.
that is enough.
80%.
That is enough time for people to do whatever they want to do. And Mr. Leo, I have been in leadership. And you saw what you have forgotten to say is that William Ruto was in the office until the end of the Jubilee government. But let me tell you, if I am the boss and I don't want you to perform, I have the power to sabotage you. I have the power to frustrate you. And I'm telling you this because I have been a boss in an organization with over 300 people. I have been in leadership. And
So
if,
how would a boss, Jeff, you've been in
listen,
leadership, you are the director of
listen
the
now,
organization. How would you
listen now.
sabotage
You
your juniors?
see, you
Because your
see,
performance depends on your juniors.
you see, don't speak like you were not in Kenya. You were in Kenya and you were watching what was going on. Uhuru Kenyatta was running government with a few people that he wanted, especially in the last 5 years. And everybody is aware of that. Uhuru Kenyatta sabotaged his deputy and anybody who was seen to be supporting the deputy president. And that is where things went wrong. Because those are the people who had believed and who they were the vision carriers, but they were not allowed to perform their duties as they were supposed to perform. And that is why many of them were kicked out, others resigned because of frustrations. Let me tell you, it is not easy for somebody in the caliber of a majority leader. It is not easy for people to put aside the flag, high offices. It is because of serious frustrations. It is because they have realized there is nothing we are doing here. Let me tell you, Leo, if your boss does not have goodwill for you, even being in that office, you feel like you are sitting on thorns because you're expecting the call that you come next. I am sure when those ministers were in their offices, they were frustrated. They were afraid. What is the president say? What will the president say? Where will I be tomorrow? I mean, Uhuru Kenyatta disorganized his government, and he ran the government as a personal entity or a personal organization in the last 5 years. He never even followed the court orders. You know, the separation of power. Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't know what was in his mind, but I can tell you for the last 5 years of his tenure, he disorganized the government. He disorganized everything. That is where we lost billions of money. And what the only problem I have, Leo, and I know you know deep in your heart, you know where things started going wrong. The only problem I have with the current government is because they are failing to pursue the evils that were then done by the previous government. Let me tell you, Leo, I desire to see that day when a thief will be a thief, regardless of which party they belong, which tribe, or whom they support. That is when we shall have our government working for the people. That is when we shall have accountable leaders. But if I support you simply because you are supporting the one I like or I would have liked to become the president, so I'll never say when you are wrong, then we will never come out of impunity. We will never come out of corruption. So for me, I desire to see a situation whereby investigations will be opened so that Kenyans may know we have 9 trillion debts. Did we get the value for that money? Because as much as I'm paying for that debt, Leo, you are also paying. The ODM, Stronghold, they are paying. Did we get the money, the value for 9 trillion? Are those roads we have constructed, are those railways worth 9 trillion? Where did our money go? Then, if we did not get value for our money, who stole our money? It doesn't matter whether it is Uhuru, whether it is Ruto. We want to know. And for me, you know, you people, you just think that I just support things or just to talk. If I get a chance, and those who have ever worked with me, I am a very strict person. Ask anybody who has ever worked with me. I believe in people following procedures. So if the law says something, that is what should be done. What happens in Kenya? Right now, Uhuru, Raila, they are pretending they are fighting, but they are covering each other. Then we have another government. Then it will cover the other thieves. That is not what we want. We want to see stones being turned upside down. Who are these who have been stealing from our nation? I wish I can get a chance. I would jail people. I wish. How I wish one day I would get a chance. Because we cannot continue with this level of impunity whereby people are suffering in poverty because of leaders. And we should be saying we want to see investigations. The controller of budget came out.
But we are having a government. So when you say like that, we should be saying we want to see investigation, and
Exactly.
we are having a government in place, and the government that we have in place, they too believe that they are correcting the mess of the previous government, some ghosts that they don't want to name, or maybe there's some. This ghosts, they know them. They name them. They tell you the people in the previous government, the handshake, and the people who
Do you know
being
why they are
maybe
not?
suspected,
Do you know
they know
why?
these people. So if the
Do you know
government
why they are
was
not taking
sincere,
action?
no,
Do you
just
know why
before
they
I
are
reach
not
there,
taking action?
why are they not taking action?
They are not taking action because they know tomorrow they will not be in power. And the
So
government
they are
that
the
will come
same.
in power.
So are you trying to agree with me? They are the same people. They're not taking action because when they talk of the previous government, it refers to them. So they were also in that
You see,
government. So taking action wins, all of them are going to be implicated. So we
and that
have
is
to
what I'm
agree that
saying.
these are the same people.
And that is what I'm saying. It is the high time we start thinking as Kenyans. Who are our leaders? Do they really stand for the growth or for the betterment of our nation? If Leo, let me tell you, if I have a position of leadership, even if you are my friend or my brother, and you do something, and I have the power to jail you or to punish you, I would do exactly like that. For the what we call for the interest of the people. The nation is greater than an individual. You know, I believe in setting precedents. In Kenya, we have never jailed governors. Like for 10 years. They say Waitito stole. Waitito will never be jailed. They say Sonko stole billions. Sonko will never be jailed. All those previous governors, they have cases. Those files will be closed, minus anybody being sent to jail. That is the kind of a nation. Very unserious. Even the judges, the judiciary. Sometimes we see people being jailed, but how comes politicians are never jailed in Kenya? So there is no one to learn from. They are not afraid. Right now they have said this senator, what is his name? The one who is having a scandal for the students? Mandago.
Mandago, yes.
Yeah, Mandago. They are saying, the EACC has allowed I don't know, for him to be investigated. But do you think anything will happen to him? Those are
Obviously,
the other
obviously,
thieves
there's
to cover
nothing.
him.
Ruto did some PR when he went there, and these were just meant
Let
to
me tell you,
ease the
Rio,
ground.
I have stayed in America. I have seen serious judiciary. I have seen serious police department. Kenya, we are just joking. Serious.
No, but Jeff,
I
you
think,
have to agree that the reason why again this one cannot happen, and we are the ones who are celebrating, that the first thing that William Ruto did was to appoint the 6 judges that the appointment was pending. So I told you when he did this, he did it on some political informed decisions. So it was like he was doing these people some favor. It was like he was their only savior. He was their godfather, that without William Ruto, they would not get these jobs. So do you think you can be able to harm or do something wrong to somebody who you believe is your godfather, somebody who held your work, your hand and took you to some kind of employment and you secured that job, then this person happens to be brought before you to prosecute? Do you think you'll prosecute this person maybe fairly, or you'll have some other thought that, I'm here because of this person? That's the problem that we're having. The
you
president did
see,
not do
you
it.
see,
It
you
did
see,
not
Mr.
appear like it
Leo.
was legally or it was fairly done. It appeared like the president was doing them favor, telling them that, "Oh, look, you people did not have job. You are left just hanging there, but I've done you some favor." So are we
You
not seeing
see,
judiciary returning
you
that kind of
see,
favor?
Mr. Leo.
Yeah.
There is what we call processes and procedures of doing things. The president has his part in as far as appointment of judges are concerned. And there are other processes if a judge is corrupt or has a case to answer. That is not the work of the president. William Ruto only rectified the impunity of the former president, whereby he was acting as a judge and a prosecutor and everything at the same time. Because under normal circumstance, all these judges had gone through the process of vetting, the recruitment process. That is not the work of the president. So for him was just to sign for them to become. So what William Ruto did, he just followed the law. If those judges had a case to answer, there are procedures and processes that were supposed to be followed. So I don't know. So saying that William Ruto was doing them favor, no, it was their constitutional right for them to be in that
Okay.
office.
I can see Mr. G is there, and as we want to move on, I know this one is going to spark some kind of debates. We are heading to Christmas, and the Daily Nation is reporting that there is some dark Christmas for coffee farmers. I know, Jeff, you will also have to comment on this after Mr. Uhuru, because you come from a coffee growing belt. You know, those people from central Kenya, you know how coffee is really important, not only for the breakfast. You are the guys who supply us with breakfast, because you give us some coffee, you give us some milk. So we only need to look for sugar in the western and the Nyanza part of the country, then we are set to go. So we've been seeing the deputy president having some morning walks as part of reviving and bringing some reforms in the coffee industry. And so this is what is reported, that farmers say reforms hurriedly implemented and are hurting growers they were supposed to protect. So these reforms are supposed to protect the growers, but it comes out that they are now hurting growers. How is this one happening? The new rules outlaw milling, marketing, and buying of coffee by one farm. So Naftali Kiambi, the chairman of Kaguru Coffee Farmers Cooperative Society, is troubled man since Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua started reforms of the sector early this year. His anxiety has been frightened day by day. So then the last week, the worst happened. The management of a company that mills the society's coffee, which is based in Thika, asked him to collect his 600 bags of parchment after the company was denied a milling license. So we had to transfer the coffee to the new Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, miller at Dandora. We incurred over 700,000 cost, which will be transferred to the farmer. So Mr. Kemp is saying. So I don't know what is happening with the milling process, because they're saying that the new rules are flowing the milling, marketing, and buying of coffee by one farm. Like one farm cannot buy, mill, and sell the coffee. So you'll find that farmers like these people are coming all the way from Kiambu, and you'll find that Thika is really close to them. So they have to bring it to Dandora, that is in Nairobi. And all these costs before a farmer is paid is going to be transferred to the farmer's expenses. So what they're going to find at the end of the payment is not going to be enough. So what is wrong with the coffee industry? What is this problem that cannot be sorted? It's a responsibility that the deputy president took as his own initiative. So do you think there's something that can be done, or we just forget about this coffee? Mr. G, I know you don't come from a coffee milling, but you can have just a say before Buru tells us what the problem is exactly.
Okay, I'm not aware of what is happening on this issue of coffee, because I don't have any knowledge on what is really happening on those areas. But before I just talk small on this thing, I think I wanted to debate, because okay, I've not been consistent, nimekuwa busy sana on a call, but at any time nakuja nikiwa free napata Mr. Mburu is just blaming Uhuru. I don't know what Uhuru did. In fact, there's a time ambayo amesema kuwa Uhuru alikuwa anapenda kufanya kazi with few people ambao anataka kufanya nao, but he misled everything, he disorganized everything, hakuna anything that happened. In fact, he was just stealing money, this money from loans. It was just
Mr. G, I want to make a request. Can we conclude the topic of coffee, then we can go back to Uhuru, so that we don't confuse the viewers.
Yes, okay, so that we don't confuse our viewers, this is what is happening. The government has withdrawn the license of some coffee millers, and they're being transferred to the Kenya KPCU. Is it the KPCU in Dandora? So they'll have to transport their coffee all along from Kiambu, those parts of Kiambu, to Dandora. That is, the government is giving them a specific mailer. So these other companies, a company can be able to collect your coffee, but they are not allowed to mail it. They'll have to take it. Is this one not of abandoning the farmers? Because the cost of mailing and everything, when you're going to get your payment, they normally have to calculate the cost of transporting it, the cost of mailing. So they'll divide and the expenses will be cut out by the farmer. So they'll tell you this was your coffee. It was 50 kg. We used this amount to transport it. We used this amount to mail it. So we sold it at this amount. So this is the amount we got. we are removing the mailing cost, we are removing the transportation cost, unabaki na hii. I don't want to call it tax.
Is it me, Mr. Leo?
For Mr. J, but you can proceed because you, I know you know it better. You come from a coffee milling belt, so you might know it better. You might have engaged with some farmers. I know they give you calls. Wakati maisha ni ngumu, wanapiga simu huko US, wanasema bana, pesa ya kahawa ilifika, hebu tupatie hivi na hivi. So what is the situation over there?
You see, the coffee sector became bad a long time ago. When I was growing up, we used to have a lot of coffee covering the whole of our shamba. But today in Central, especially in our farm, we just have some few plantations for coffee. We uprooted the coffee trees because from the Moi time, this sector has not been giving any profit to the farmers. So this sector has not been performing well for so many years. And right now, what the government is doing is what we call the paradigm shift, changing everything, an overhaul, and restructuring of the whole sector. It is not easy. You expect a lot of resistance from the people who have been benefiting from that sector. So when you see the government making some tough decisions, it is because they are decisions that were supposed to be made a long time ago. And as I say, and through experience, before things turn to be good or before things become better, they become very tough and very hard, especially with the resistance, cartels, the people who have been benefiting at the expense of the common farmer. They are the people who resist. Imagine a situation whereby, Leo, you are the one who goes to the farm. You do farming, you buy fertilizer, you do weeding and everything to your plantation. And then you also harvest and take coffee to the millers. But the people who receive a lot of money are the brokers. The farmers get very little of it. So this is what the government is trying to solve. What do you expect? These are the people who understand the market. They understand the chain of supply and everything. So the first thing they will do is to sabotage. They will sabotage the market. They will do everything possible for the government to fail. So I know the sector will have challenges, but the way I know Rick G, this is a tough guy. He will crack these guys. And finally, Kenyans and the farmers will enjoy. So right now, let us bear the pain of restructuring process. But finally, I can assure you, these people who have been enjoying monopoly will be nowhere. We will have competition in that sector because that is what Gachagua has been requested to do. And I believe in him. I believe he is honest. And I have seen him going to places looking for market, and they are doing everything possible. So let us just support them. Yeah, there will be pain, but I know these are problems that have been there for, you can imagine, from the Nyayo era up to now. You know, people have brokers, cartels. They were allowed to enjoy the sweat of the common farmer. So please, let us just support the president, what he is doing. Actually, President Ruto and Gachagua, because they are tough guys. They are handling people that soft guys cannot try. Soft people cannot try to touch some sectors, like milk sectors, like coffee sector, like tea sectors. There are areas that there are people, you can even lose life. Because you can imagine denying people who have been earning billions of money, because here we are talking of billions. You are denying them from earning those billions. They can do anything to you. So we expect things to be tough, but things will turn better. And the reason why I commend the president, because he is not afraid of confronting things head on. And that is what we want in Kenya. So for me, I support what the government is doing. I know those cartels will fight, because hata kama ni mimi bwana, unanyang'anywa pesa nilikuwa napata bila kuchoka, nitapigana kidogo, but finally I believe in these guys that wakisema hawa watu tutagonga, watagogwa sawa sawa. Na kugogwa sisemi ati wapigwe ama wauawe, nasema hivi watu wenye wamekuwa wakienjoy pesa ya wakulima, mimi na support Gachagua, kalia hawa kabisa. Wacha hata kahawa kama haitapelekwa mahali kwa muda, wacha hata iwekwe kwa masto, lakini mkulima asipatiwe pesa yenye haina maana, na yeye ndiye alienda kwa shamba akanyeshewa. I mean, kahawa iko na kazi gumu bwana. Tumechuna kahawa, tumenyeshewa kwa kahawa, tumeikausha, tumefanya kila kitu, tumeichagua. I mean, alafu wenye wanaenjoy pesa ni watu wenye hata hawajaienda kwa shamba. I think those are the people who should be swept, waondolewe, wakulima waanze kuenjoy.
I get you. That is really great. And this thing of coffee needs to be sorted so that as these people go for holidays, they need to get something in their pockets. And I think that is one of the reasons why these people believed in Gachagua. Gachagua politically, he didn't have anything to offer, but his slogan was mimi nitadili na watu wa majani chai, watu wa kahawa na watu wa maziwa. So those three components of breakfast is what I think gave him some relevance, and that is the only thing that he was saying that he was going to do. And maybe I know we've been here, we are having like 5 minutes to wind up our show. So for the ones that are joining us, kindly welcome. This is a morning show. It's called Afriq in the morning. We normally have a morning newspaper review, and we update and connect you very early in the morning so that as you leave your house and go to work or go wherever you're going to, you go there connected, informed, and updated. So there are those people who've been asking so many questions. There are those people who've been fighting Murkomen left, right, and center, saying that, okay, nowadays he's living big, he's driving some big cars, he's putting on some expensive watches and expensive suits. It seems anakula serikali. Yeah? There is that sound, that Mzee Karus who used to say waligula. So they've been thinking that Murkomen kuna venye nakula hii Ministry of Transport until imeanza kuleak, airport imeanza kutoboka, stima imeanza potea. So I think Murkomen decided to respond to you. So for those people who read Nairobian, they'll be able to get it over there. I'll allow, how do you call it? Mr. G, if you can proceed a bit, just a minute. Buru, proceed a minute.
Yeah, Mburu had requested that we finish first the issue of coffee, and I think ameongelea kuhusu issue of coffee. Maybe we can revisit what I was trying to ask, kwa sababu most of the time nimekuwa nikirudi napata he's really blaming Uhuru how he governed his government, the former government, even though those people who were in the former government and still the people who are in this government, because ilikuwa tu ni timu moja hiyo, wametubadilisha from deputy president to the president, so it's still the same government. But comparing to what I have heard Mr. Mburu saying and what I know, on the last regime, the Jubilee regime, the last 5 years, I think from the loans that the president used to take, our president, our own president, our own president who is Uhuru Kenyatta, he used to take loan, but we saw that we have some development that were used by the money. Look at the roads. In Mombasa, we had issues with the road. In fact, from town, any area outside Changamwe, when you had a flight, na unataka kuenda na ndege mahali, ukitoka town ama utoke Jamhuri, utoke Nyali, utoke wapi, sometimes you could, I have again a call, sorry. Back to you, Mburu.
Thank you, Mr. G. Yeah, I don't want to talk about Uhuru again, but yeah, we will revisit that when you come back, as you explain to Kenyans what you wanted to talk about that. But I want to touch on the issue of the fights that are going on with Murkomen, and even being criticized for how he is dressing. Myself, I haven't seen any change on the dressing code of Mr. Murkomen. As I said, let people stop pettiness. It is petty for people to start thinking of the suit that someone wear, the watch. Oh, nowadays he's wearing a watch. Oh, he has put on a suit. That's our money. Oh, look at the shoe that he's wearing. That is petty. This is someone. This is a senior counsel. He has other business apart from politics. He has law firm. He has businesses. He is not struggling for the basic needs like clothes and shelter. So let people, if you are to accuse me of serious things, but not the suit I wear, not the house I live in. Our
Yeah, that's
politicians,
true. That
especially.
is true, Mr. Jeff. Just look at this.
Mhm.
Murkomen defends his fashion, and this is what he hates to say, that I worked very hard in school. He says his status is the fruit of hard work, having grown up poor. CS is one of the most expensively dressed government officials today. So Rod CS Kipchumba Murkomen has defended his expensive lifestyle, especially his love for classy and expensive watches and designer shoes. Murkomen said that his current status is the fruit of hard work, having been raised in an humble background. So this is something that has been happening in the country. Today, if you see your governor dressed well, people go to Google and try to check the cost. They say, oh, the governor is putting on a watch that is worth 2 million. So this is the county money. So I don't know, people need to learn that apart from these people being governors and senators and the members of parliament, they also have their private life, they also have their visions. So the fact that you are poor should not make them also live a poor life. They were also poor at one time when they were growing. Like Mokumen is telling you, he grew up in a poor background. And it is the dream of everyone, those ones who are in poor backgrounds, that one day when they grow up, they will live a better life. They will have that life that they normally envision and imagine. So when they've reached that point, they've worked hard and they've reached that point. We cannot tell the CS to stop putting on a suit that is worth 200,000 Kenyan shillings simply because the neighbor somewhere there is not having something to put on. I think it is, if they have to give to the neighbors and the friends, it is out of goodwill, but it is not compulsory. I've heard such kind of talks, people saying that some governors, like my governor, James Orengo, you know, is somebody who likes expensive suits even by the time he was still the Minister of Lands, or by the time he was still an MP. So people would really criticize and say how he's eating the county. So it's good that such kind of response are there. People are dreaming big, and that one I just passed through. It was so interesting, and I wanted us to maybe be able to differentiate between the personal life and the political or the public life. And for those people who like reading Nairobian, you'll also be able to get the story of Rosa Rosalina. And this is a CIA house help who moved the world. She was working in Lebanon, and according to her employer, he's saying that the children refers to Rosie as mom and is a darling to them. I think it is something that hit the news and everybody knew about it. So you can be able to read there. And I think those people who want to go and work in Lebanon or work as a house helps, it can tell you how that little thing that you do can really be great. Now everybody knows that house help. So wewe
Yeah,
ukikaa
she
hapo
must
ukiwekwa
be.
kama maid, unakunywa maziwa ya mtoto. So you just need to take your work diligently and work well, then all will be well. Ama namna gani, Jeff?
Yeah, she must be a nice person, a kind-hearted person. Especially for the children to love you, it means that she was treating her. She was treating her well. And if she is not married, I would advise the singles, like maybe, I don't know if Leo, you have a wife. Those are the kind of people you people should be thinking of. She is she can be a good wife material. And I think even the wife of that home, she felt threatened after seeing how even the husband was embracing her and the children, and she was told not to go back there again. Anyway, having said that, I would tell people, do your job the way you are supposed to do your job passionately, as if it's your own job. Because after she has been spotted like this everywhere in the news, I believe her life has changed and her life will change. Not because of the boss, but because of how she did her job. And out of that, God has granted her favor across the nation and across the world because everybody is talking about her. So she is already a big name right now. She can now get a better job. And I normally tell people, don't be so selective. Do any kind of a job that you get. At the end of the day, when you receive your money, no money is written the job you do, or whether you are a farmer, you are a maid, you are a tanny boy, you are a driver. I feel bad when I see people waiting because, oh, I am educated, so I'm waiting to do a certain kind of job. Let me tell you, Rio, there is no any kind of a job I cannot do so long as I get money. That is my principle. And I have my papers. Sometimes I keep them in the box and I go and do manual jobs. I can do any job to ensure that I get money. And that is what I encourage our people to do. Don't be afraid to do any kind of job. And then you start crying, oh, the government is not doing a, I don't know. The government will contribute very little when it comes to your life. It is you to shape your money. I mean, to shape your future, to shape your life. Right now, the president is, and that is what I would like us, Leo, maybe to discuss. The government is trying to get jobs for people even outside the country. I would like us to have that discussion because I have seen people saying, "Oh, that is very bad for the president to look for jobs outside." I don't know your views, but I think it should be a topic that we should think about.
Actually, we need. I'll need to get the opinion, even our viewers. That the president has been saying that he's going to look for people job abroad. Though there are so many issues with that, because first of all, we know the challenges that you're having back at the country. Like right now, if you want to get your passport, you have to wait for at least 6 months. There are no pages; those papers are normally used in printing the passport. And also there is an issue with the machine. So we know very well for you to go to these countries, you need a passport. I don't know how people are going to move. So the government, the good thing that I have to tell you that this government is having some good ideas. The only thing is that they don't have a plan. They have slogans, just like they were telling you, kazi ni kazi, or bottom up. Bottom up was not a policy. Bottom up was a slogan. It is easy to sound this slogan. It is easy to say how you are going to get people job. But now they don't have a proper process. They don't have lay down procedure. How are we going to get it? Look, for example, when Kibaki was in power, they came up with the Vision 2030. So it was not a slogan. Some of the people in the village did not know what the Vision 2030 is, but the experts knew what the Vision 2030 is. They laid down the program that in Vision 2030, by 2030, this road should be tarmacked, this road should be expanded, this is how we are going to do it, this is how we are going to get that money. They had some projections, but that is the difference between Kibaki and William Ruto. William Ruto is having good ideas, but he doesn't know how to achieve the ideas. He's saying you want to go and get your work abroad. Number one, he doesn't know the procedures. For me to go work abroad, I need a passport. So you need to start by saying that for me to get for you, I don't go and ask for work when I have not facilitated you people with some passports. So they remain as PR, some things just to make people happy. But if they can be actualized, they're really good ideas. So that is the problem that we are having. Yeah, so I don't know what is your take in getting this or the effects of getting people to go and get work abroad, because it seems the work they promised people locally is not working out. They are not creating this job. So now you want to
Mr.
come.
Leo,
Yes.
Mr. Leo, you are not in Kenya. Who got for you? Who gave you the passport? Who paid for your passport?
Didn't get me well. A passport is a Kenyan citizen. Kenyans are applying for passports each and every day. Actually, hourly, they do it in e-citizen. So the problem is not Kenyans lacking money for the passport. Kenyans are not asking the government to apply for them to pay for their passport. Kenya is asking the government to process and print their passports. The problem is the government is not able. They don't have the capacity to print these passports. Right now, they don't have the
Why
pages. Kenyans
why
have paid their money, but they are not
why
getting.
why are you misfiring my question?
No, I know I know where your question is headed. Yeah, and it's like you wanted to force me to say that we
I'm
request the
not
government to give
forcing
us the
you.
passports.
You
We
know,
request the government to print the passports that we paid with our money.
if that was a history question, you'd have failed because I ask a question, then you twist the question and you start answering your own things.
I knew the question that you were asking. That is why I had to answer you in that way.
So,
So what is happening is that
Mr. Rio,
we need the government. Yeah, yeah.
there is the work of the government and there is the work of you as a person.
Actually,
If
you're right.
um, um, in Kiswahili we say ukishikwa mkono usilevye miguu, yaani nikikushikilia na wewe jikakamue, try
Yeah.
hard. So if, for instance, some countries like now US, Canada, Finland and other countries, they are very strict on getting the visa. If the government deal with those countries and they become friendly, that they can give visa to our people, it is
Yeah.
now upon our people to try to get money to apply for the passport. At the same time, it is the work of the government to ensure that those who apply and pay for the passport, they get the passport.
You can even see it from Sarah always telling you that it's really terrible. It works terribly. Kupata passport sio rahisi without bribe. You can't get it. Jeff, I'll tell you, I have an experience, and you know very well. I have so many people that maybe you get some opportunity, you tell them, then now the problem comes. The employer is waiting for them, but now they cannot be able to make it because of the passports. They go there after taking the even taking biometrics will take you up to 3 months. After getting the biometrics, you'll have to keep on waiting, checking. So it's really hard. It's really hard. So if the
I
president,
think,
we saw
yeah,
Kindiki
yeah,
had
I
tried,
understand.
and the PR, he tried, but right now he's silent because there's nothing he can do. So I don't
I
know.
got I got myself a passport during the Kibaki time. I think it was in 2006. My friend,
Yeah.
I had to cost drama at Nyayo House. I had to cost like it was like a serious war because I don't believe in bribing people. And those who make things tough for Kenyans is those who accept to bribe. And I want to ask Kenyans, can you refuse? All of us, can we decide that we shall never bribe anybody and let it be our culture? I went to Nyayo House, Leo. They kept telling me, come tomorrow, come on Friday, come tomorrow, come on Friday. But I got tired. And when they were crossing it, I think it was around 5 or they are around 4. When they were crossing Nyayo House, I remained there inside. And then the police officer came and told me, hey, we kijana, unafanya nini hapa? Amwambia usiniite kijana, naye amekwambia mimi ni kijana. Huh? We are crossing down. Nikamwambia sawa, fuga, nifugie huku, sitoki. Why? Nikamwambia I have been here for almost 1 month coming for the passport. And these people have been telling me, I had even mastered the name of the guy I was dealing with. They have been telling me, come tomorrow, come there. But those who used to come with envelope, wanapeana kabahasha na documents zao, they would get passport the same day. And I told that guy, you are a police officer. Your work is to protect me, especially when my rights are being broken or violated. So usijaribu kunisukuma. Wewe fuga milango na uende.
Yeah.
And I caused commotion until everybody realized there is something going on. And there was a senior guy there who came down. Akakuja akaniuliza nini kinaendelea, nikamwambia you people, you are so corrupt. I have been here for almost a month and I have been observing how you conduct yourself. You know? So what I am saying is this. I know we have a big problem. Our leaders, or those we have given jobs, they have decided never to be professional. They have decided to compromise. What about us, Kenyans? Do you feel bad when you give 50 shillings to a police officer? Do you feel bad to give 100 so that your process goes faster than other people? You know, this change because those who work for us, they come from us. So they behave the way the society behaves. So it has to start with us, even the commoners. We say from now, enough is enough. I will never give bribe. That is my principle. Mimi nakwambia nimeishi Kenya. Na ni mara nyingi sana, wakati mwingine hata kuna wakati nisimamishwa na lori kutoka Mwea. Nikauliza umebeba nini? Nikasema nimebeba mchere. Hati umebeba bangi? Nimemwambia ni mchere nimebeba. Anaigiza mambo ya bangi. Nikamwambia I know unajaribu kutafuta makosa, nikupee pesa. Nikamwambia na ujue hata ukifanya nini hata dururu haupati. Wala unipeleke wapi sipeateani pesa. If we can have people like that in Kenya, wenye wanasema mimi mambo ya bribe nimefunga. Leo nimeona
I'll tell you, if you have been in Kenya, those kind of engagement that you're having with the police, you can only do it when there's something in your pocket. That courage to tell police, mimi sikupati pesa, you can only say it when you have money. Try saying that one when your pocket is empty. You can only say it when at least kuna ka insurance kwa mfuko, kakienda kabaya, yeah? You will be able to help yourself. It's not easy. It's not easy. So the few people you see risking that, they are people that they know at least you have some insurance. But for those people, the only thing they have is that 50 bob. They say to save on time, because you know time pia inaenda, shughuli zako pia zinaharibika. Mtu anasema ili nipeane. I had a guy who was arrested on a Friday, and this guy had no mistake. Ile ametoka kwa duka kununua unga ndio ashawekwa. This guy anafaa kwenda kazi on Saturday. These people who are working on a daily basis analipwa 1,000, 1,500, such kind of things. So you imagine wamekuweka pale sana. So if you don't have somebody to come and pay for your cash bill, so if you fail to comply, it means you stay there on Saturday, stay there on Sunday, and wait to be taken to court on Monday. They know very well you will not wait for those 2 days. You're somebody who is earning on a daily. For these 2 days, ukikaa hapa familia pale nyumbani pia watakuwa wamekufa njaa. So you say the best thing is nitafute mtu anipatia 1,000 ama 2,000 nitoke hapa niende nitafute pesa niachane na story nyingi. That is what is happening in this country.
But now, what I am trying to train Kenyans is, if all of us decide no more bribe, no more corruption in our country, we agree, hata polisi atakuwa anaogopa kuitisha hongo. And I want to tell you, Kenya is changing. I have seen people standing up against the police. Nowadays we have cameras, we have social media. Wewe ukiona polisi amekusubua, chukua picha tutumie, chukua ka video tutumie hapa, tutawanyorosha sawa sawa. I mean, na sio tu polisi, anybody who is doing that, let us expose these people until they stop. And when we expose these people, we have the power. We are the employers, by the way. Kenyans, you are the employers. Wewe beba kasimu yako. Ukiona unasumbuliwa, kwa kiplani tu chukua ka video, hata usingangane. Wewe chukua video, tutumie hapa kwa Afriq. Tutaweka kwa social media zote na tutafuta watu kazi. So for me, I believe in change, Mr. Leo. You know, I was working somewhere, and I was in a position where I would give people jobs. Na Wakenya ni corrupt haki. Kenyans are so corrupt. Utakuta kuna wasichana hata wanajaribu kukuseduce ndio wapatie kazi. Wengine watu wanataka kupatia pesa ndio wapatie kazi. I have seen it all in Kenya. So if you don't have principles, utaishi maisha ya kuteseka. We need to have principles. Useme kama ni kazi, nitapata kazi kwa njia ya haki. We have really degraded ourselves. We don't have principles. You see Leo, I desire one day tufike mahali nimeona nchi kama America imefika. Here we don't even think of corruption. I mean, it is either I am going for an interview, it is either I am going to get that job or not. But mambo ya naweza peana kitu hata iwezi kuja kwa mind zako. I mean, ukienda hata kama ni makaratasi ya serikali unataka, you cannot even dream about it. And that is what I desire to see in our country. Yani kila mtu ale jasho yake. from the president to the most junior person in the government. That is how it's
I
supposed
get
to
it.
be.
I get it. I get it. Oh, guys, I know this is a Afriq morning show, and in this morning show, we just give you the newspaper updates. I review on overdone. We are supposed to be here for 2 hours, and as we are winding up, I also want maybe to advise, remind you. Last Sunday, in our night show, we had the unlocking land dilemma in Kenya, and we had some experts who really vividly talked to our viewers, and people got educated, na nyinyi wenyewe mkaitisha tuweze kuleta hiyo show next time. So I'm happy to tell you that this Sunday we are also going to have the same show, and we are going to dwell on some other aspects that were not covered. People talked about something called land transfer. We were educated on a lot of things that are taking place when somebody is buying land and how to know a genuine land. So we had an expert who worked with the Ministry of Lands for the last 30 years. So the lady will still be coming up on Sunday. So if you've not subscribed, ensure you subscribe and set an alarm. Put the notification bell on. So Engineer Florence Mora will be with us again on Sunday so that she will pick from where she left. So keep it here. We will always update you. We will always educate you. We will always connect you. So that is why we say we are connecting Africa. We are connecting Africa. So whether you're in Europe, you're in America, you're in Asia, you're in East or Central or Southern parts of Africa, we'll ensure that we connect you with information. We connect you with people so that as we build some informed connections, then we're going to have a better country. That is why we are advising you to keep subscribing, keep liking and sharing Afriq 24 hours TV. And don't fail to join our evening show. We normally have a show, a talk show, a political talk show, specifically politics, from 10 p.m. to past midnight. So join us today as we are discussing the matters of politics, things that are ailing the Kenyan politics, what is happening with the political environment, and we're also discussing matters of economic. And each and every morning, we always update you on what is on our newspaper. So I'm glad today I was joined by Mr. G and Jeff Mburu. We've tried to look into what the newspapers are saying, even though we cannot be able to read the entire newspaper. We only select on few areas of interest and try to weigh in and give our views and take your views based on that. So if you did not join us today, ensure tomorrow you join us at exactly 8 a.m. East African time. So Jeff, I would really request you and Mr. G to give your closing remarks as we leave our viewers. Watu waende kazi, watu wazidi kujenga uchumi, tuzidi kulipa tax ili nchi yetu iweze kuwa stable. So I'll just give you 2 minutes each so that we can give a closing remarks. Yes, Mr. Mburu.
Yeah,
I'll
thank
start with you,
you.
then I go to Mr. G.
Thank you, Mr. Leo, for this opportunity. I just want to tell Kenyans that Kenya is a beautiful country. It is our country. Let us continue being patriotic. Let us love our country. Let us be supportive to our current government because it is our government, all of us, those who supported William Ruto and those who did not support Kenya Kwanza. This is our government. If Kenya Kwanza government fails, we all fail. If the economy performs well, we all perform well. If they make prudent decisions, they affect all of us. And let us always work very hard to see that we are doing what we are supposed to do because it is our life. It is our life. each one of us, support the one you can support. If you feel there is something you can do to improve somebody's life, do that. Because that is why we have all the institutions, we have all these people, you have your family members. Support where you can. Whatever you do, you are doing, you are building the nation in whichever capacity. Just know you are part of the government. Do what you can as you. Don't just look at what the government is not doing. We also want to see you thinking of what am I not doing. If you wake up every day and the day ends and you have not done anything, then you are failing just like any other person. So let us just support the government. I keep on asking Kenyans, support the government, pray for the government. Prayer works. Governance is not easy. Leadership is not very easy, especially in a country like Kenya or in Africa, where people, we are not easy people. We are not simple people to be led by anybody. But I thank God that so far we have a government, and the government has already laid down the structures. And I desire to see Kenya performing well, because we don't feel good to be in foreign countries. We would like to come back home, and we would like to see a good country. And that is why all the money we make, we send our money back home, because that is our country. We normally say east or west, home is the best. The reason why we are so passionate and possessed with our country is because that is our country, and that is where we belong. So no matter any side you support, Kenya is our home. No matter the tribe you come from, Kenya is our home. And we should always think of making our home better. And we make our home better if we can have unity, love one another. Let us not be so much tribal. It's okay to support whoever you want to support, but don't be supporting people basing on the tribe they come from. When we shall run away from the monster of tribe, that a Jaluo like Leo and a Kikuyu like Jeff can sit together, reason together. That is how it's supposed to be, so that we can build our nation together. So I can talk and talk until tomorrow. Mr. Leo, let us end the show.
You can talk and talk and talk until tomorrow. I understand. Mr. G,
Thank you,
closing
Mr. Leo.
remarks na salamu za kutoka huko pwani, pia utuambie mvua iliisha ama bado iko, ama bado watu wanasombwa na maji?
Mvua bado iko kidogo kidogo, haijaisha kabisa. But I think first of all I can say sorry for I have not been consistent. Kila wakati kijaribu kuongea napigiwa simu. So
ile harakati hiyo inaonyesha dalili mzuri. Umejua pork mlisharudishiwa. Sasa
tuma offering bwana.
No, it's not about offering bwana, ni kazi inafuatiliwa. Yeah, but I think tomorrow we may have good time. Today sijakuwa na time nzuri because I had a lot of questions to Mburu, lakini naona our time is over. I think we can do it tomorrow.
No, you can ask me a question. You can ask one question. I know.
No, the moment I start utaona kama simu inapigwa. No, the moment I will ask you a question, nikishaanza tena utasikia simu inapigwa because I'm still receiving more phones. Kuna kitu ambacho inafuatiliwa, so I'm still receiving more phones. Yeah. So but what I can just say ni kuwa you are saying that we support the government, but to me I will only support somebody anaweza kuja nje na akasema kuwa amefail, ameshindwa. But mtu ambaye bado anajipiga kifua na ameshindwa, I cannot support him.
Barikiwa. It's like he's done.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't have much. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. G. Thank you for those viewers who joined this show. I just have to appreciate you for taking your time and watching and getting entertained, getting informed and updated this early morning. Of course, Goodyear is always a loyal fan. He's always there as long as.
Oh, Mr. Rio, just one point. Mr. Rio. Oh, it's like the phone of Mr. Rio is hanging. Yeah, before he comes back, I just wanted to make a comment on the government initiative for people to travel and work abroad. I want to ask Kenyans, and especially the young people, the youth, make a follow-up. Know what is the government doing. Know what you are supposed to do to be able to go and get a job outside there, because jobs are there. The world is becoming one, and people are working all over. You have seen people from all over the nations, the world, coming to work in Kenya. So it is not an offense if you leave your country, work somewhere else. Sometimes I compare the money I used to get at the end of the month, and I had a big title in my country. And I compare with what I get a day or two. You see, it is equivalent to what I was getting for a whole month. So please don't stay at home and think that you do much. So if you don't have a job, for those who have jobs, it's okay. But if you don't have a job and there is an opportunity for you to go and make money and help your people outside, please don't be rigid. Look for those opportunities, do research, read everything. All the information you need is on the Google. Do research on your computer. If you don't have a computer, go to the cyber, read. And that is how you get the opportunities that are available. Make applications. If you don't know how to make, you can make those applications. Inquire. You can even inquire from through Afriq TV. We will get your question. We will answer your question. We will help you where you are supposed to be helped. During the time of filling up green cards, fill those green cards. It is good to go where jobs are. Don't wait for jobs at home. Don't just say, oh, this is my country. I love my country so much. We also love our country. And that is why we have gone outside. We work and build our country back home. So please, let's take those opportunities. I don't know, Mr. G, if you are in a position to end the show, because Mr. Leo is like he has gone. Mr. G? Mr. G cannot hear me. So our viewers, thank you so much. May the good Lord bless you. You are wonderful people. Mr. G, let us end the show. I add on my side, you add on your side, because I can't hear you.
Sorry, Mr. G. Sorry, I was to end it. I think I had some problem with the network. Thank you for being here waiting for me. Let me Let me just end it. Thank you so much. Good year. Thank you so much, everybody.